Excel graphs, turning 5 minutes of data into 5 hours of regret.
Let's face it, we could do better than Excel. Introducing Plotly App Studio. Built and maintained by Dash Enterprise, this is a useful tool to maintain and build out your data and become a real data scientist. So with this, there is a lot to cover, and we're going to break it down into a bunch of different videos. But as an initial introduction, this is what an App Studio project will look like, where you have the ability to install any Python package into it and to be working from that. I throw in a data set and I start the equations and I try to understand what is my data trying to tell me and what insights can I get from that. You can run this in individual blocks, similar to a Jupyter Notebook type of environment, but much more powerful. AI is directly integrated in this. You can display your graphs in real time and you can change them to any different style or format to showcase what you are trying to explain through your work. One click, you can deploy all your work to all your colleagues or the world. There's nothing as fast and as powerful as this. And if you stay for the remainder of the video, I'm going to showcase the key features that you need to know to use this. This is the window that you're brought up to when you launch an App Studio workspace. So as you can see here, there are 3 options to get started with. You can upload your own data from a CSV, a JSON, an Excel file, HTML, and you could just get started working from that point by just taking a data set and putting it into the workspace. Outside of that, you can use an existing Jupyter Notebook and build out your App Studio from there. Lastly, you can get started by just creating a blank notebook, and we can get an idea of what takes place whenever you are working within App Studio. So as you can see here, this looks very similar to a Jupyter Notebook. If you hover below or above a block, you have options to create a new code block, for example. You can add dash controls. As you can see here, you can jump in between different options and you can connect and create this whole interactive dashboard without needing to know that much code or needing callbacks, which is very interesting. You can also add Markdown to give an idea of like what is going on. So if I do hello, we can see that that turns into text, but you can create little descriptions of different sections as you go along building out your application. Lastly, you can add a SQL cell. So with that, let's jump into the next section, which is going to be how do we get to working with this from just uploading data. So if you click on upload data, and if you, for example, drop in a CSV, load it up. If we run this specific cell, we can get an idea of the data set that we are working within. Then you have different options of exploring this further. You can click on this button and this will allow you to filter the data better or build charts from this side. So you can see different area charts, bubble charts, and you can create and refine your data and get an idea of the story that it will tell. But you need to update the x-axis and the y-axis, and then you can add color schemes and just work from this point to build out your Plotly graphs, which is really cool. And whenever you're done and you've built out a good graph, you can just click on insert and it will turn that data and that graph into your Jupyter Notebook so that you can continue to work out from that point. So that's really useful and interesting. But the next button is going to be even cooler because it's just talking to an AI to help you build out what you're looking for. So for example, if I want to analyze the correlation between percentages, I can just ask this question and then the Plotly AI chat will go about give us understanding on the data that we are working within, of the different percentages and where they fall within the data set and what it means. But if I ask it to build me a graph to show the percentages and where they fall, which is really nice and useful. And if I want to add it to my notebook, I can click on that button and then it has been added and I can start working from that point. Now let's showcase the real beauty of App Studio. If I go to my downloads, I have a NumPy Jupyter Notebook that I'm going to bring into App Studio. Now we're going to do a quick run all and I can show you what all of this does. But as you can see here, this is a Jupyter notebook that is based on NumPy and showing data visualization through Plotly. So as it runs through everything, we can get an idea of what it's doing real quick. We could scroll down and it's just showing daily temperature variations. It shows precipitation versus the daily averages, and it just creates a bunch of really nice graphs to showcase this data set and to show how you can bring this into your application. So this is all good and dandy, and we can work from here and edit it out, and you can get a good idea of the different code blocks and the description and the markdown and the reason why you would want to have this while building it out. So there's two things to take note of. First, we have this over here, which is a graph that is based on a figure, and the figure is based on a go.figure. Now, if we scroll up a little bit more, some of these are just showing the figure without creating a go.figure. Now, the reason why this is an important indication to show is there's this button that I've been holding out on, but App Editor is an amazing tool, and the real reason why App Studio is as useful as it is because this allows you to bring your data directly into an application and easily launch it. So going back into the Jupyter Notebook, as you can see, these graphs aren't included. But if I wrap these graphs into a go.figure, then they would automatically get brought into the App Studio editor. And this is what this is showing. So you can move these around, you can change them, and they work interactively. I have this beautiful table to cycle through and see what your data is actually showing. But you can share this with other colleagues or externally via a link by just going over here and clicking on the one-click deploy. So there's a few things to take note of that we will jump more in depth in throughout the videos that we'll be releasing, like stylizing, how to edit it, but everything is out of the box here, and it's a great introduction for data science and for learning how to code, and the best of both worlds of a interactive UI while also being able to do anything that you want with the code to create and demonstrate what you're trying to tell through the story and the data that you have.